Okay, everything's recording. Zoom is recording.
It's weird that it's been 3 years.
Yeah, really, seriously. This is a world record.
I mean, for us.
For us, yeah, exactly. For me, it's like 3 days usually. I lose interest. 3 years.
3 years.
Well, here's to another 7 more. No, just kidding.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew, and over there is Brandon.
That's me.
You can find us online at namely90s.com or on Instagram at namely90s with a 90s. You can also find this show on YouTube every Monday at youtube.com/@namely90s. And if you'd like to support the show, head over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/namely90s, also with a 90s, and get signed up for one of the support levels.
Woo!
Gosh, that's me almost took 3 years.
Yeah. Well, you know, I thought it should be longer for the third-year extravaganza celebration.
Extravaganza!
That's what we're still calling it, right?
Yeah.
Happy 3 years of doing a podcast together.
Yeah, I almost brought you some cotton because that is the 3-year anniversary traditional gift. After all, it is the fabric of our lives. That's the second time I made that joke, but here we are.
Something for the loom.
Yeah. But it's hard to, like you said, it's hard to believe it's been 3 years. What started out as a humble during COVID little project thing is now turned into a 3-year saga.
Right. Yeah, it's surprising that because we've tried before. I say this every year. This is not our first podcast that we did. This is not our first joint venture that we've done. And usually we lose steam before a year's up.
I like how the outline says episode 102.
Oh, yeah, because
that was the 2-year outline.
It was a 2-year outline.
That's
before
awesome.
I changed it. It's episode 154 plus, however, 37 specials.
Oh, my gosh.
And yeah.
You could call us prolific podcasters at this point.
Yeah, I think we're at 70 Namely 90s minutes. We've done 100 Quotely 90s.
We have more than a Namely 90s hour at this point.
Oh, yeah. We have more than an hour worth of clips
more or less. Yeah.
to share with you today.
So no banter at the beginning is what you're saying.
Yeah, I forgot that part. But yeah, it's our 3-year anniversary. We've done so many episodes, and this may be the last year we do it, but we like to look back every year at the past year and what we've done because
yes.
For those of you that have been with us the whole ride, you know that we're on a new format now, our season 2 format with the deep dives and the variety shows. This doesn't count as either. And
you can never go wrong with a clip show. Well,
yeah.
I mean, you can, but
I made it less like punchy this year. I made it more like an actual clip show, which is weird to do in an audio format.
Sure.
So I apologize if it doesn't turn out well, but it was easier on me. So
that's fair.
Enjoy, listeners. Let's tee up this first one. So like the past 2 years, we have our top 10 moments from the last year. This year's in no specific order. Just kind of goes with the clip packages. And this first one, you're actually talking about this is back in our season 1 format. I'm talking about tennis and You get clever, and then I get clever. So
I can't even remember this. Let's see what it is.
All right. On the 9th, 19-year-old Pete Sampras wins his first Grand Slam title against Andre Agassi at the U.S. Open. He is the youngest male Open winner, at least at the time. Don't know about currently. It's the first year since. Also, it was the first year since 1966 that all Grand Slam titles were won by separate people for both the men's and women's division.
Is this sponsored by Denny's by chance?
That took me a second. I hate you. On the 10th, the first Pizza Hut opens in the Soviet Union. So we're going to play a quick little game. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, God. In Soviet Russia, Pizza Hut owns you. La, 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 la. Oh, wow. You should probably just play them individually.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I don't even remember. I mean, I remember it now, but wow. A Grand Slam. Remember the Grand Slamwich? Ugh.
It tasty, but also not.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, having French toast as the base of the sandwich. I mean, the Monte Cristo works, but
so I'm a moons over my hammy guy, but I'm pretty sure I've had the Grand Sandwich before.
Yeah, I think we had it at the one in Bellevue.
Yes,
the Denny's. Yeah,
brings things back. Yes, it'll be cleaner. What am I saying? BuzzFeed quizzes are kind of a staple of the show going back.
When really it just means we need to fill some time. So the content's sparse. Let's do a BuzzFeed quiz, which is exactly what we're doing now.
So we have a BuzzFeed quiz we're going to play.
All right, let's click this shiz. This image is no longer available.
Perfect. Is that the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's the whole thing.
Oh,
okay, so this is not a BuzzFeed quiz. This is, are you Thelma or Louise from Brainfall? Thelma and Louise was...
Oh, Christ.
What disappeared?
The whole page.
The entire page.
It's just white now. Great white.
Have you tried refreshing?
Yeah, have I tried refreshing? Was I born yesterday? No. Refresh twice, it keeps disappearing.
Okay. Have you turned off your ad blocker?
I don't have an ad blocker.
You know, that one didn't even hyperlink correctly.
Nope, no, I just clicked it though because I'm a loser.
I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you kill me?
It's not working. No, it's fine.
Swear to God.
All right. So this is called Are You More Thelma or Louise?
You know, before we start, why don't you just give everyone a backstory on
you know, what's
Thelma.
funny, I was just about to say, like, I know the name Thelma and Louise, they ain't in the names. Not an earthly clue what the hell it's about or who it is or what it is.
I got Louise.
Oh, and in a shocking turn of events, I got Thelma.
Hey, we did it again. That's surprising since we had a lot of the same answers.
Let's read these. You are Thelma Dickinson, and much like her, you are shy, reliable, and have a heart of gold. You have many secrets which you tend to keep well hidden and would go to great lengths to keep them that way. It takes you a while to open up to people, but you are willing to give them a chance. You often find yourself in some sticky situations, I'll say, but you always stand up for yourself and others.
I got Louise. You are Louise Sawyer, and like her, you are strong-willed, adventurous, and you are an expert at running away from your problems. And when things get tense, your crazy tends to come out. You are an amazing friend, and you're willing to go over the edge for them. Things may not always turn out the way you want, but you always take the positive out of every situation.
Oh, that reminds me.
We'll save the sequel talk for after a BuzzFeed quiz.
La 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 la.
Are you more Jeff Goldblum, Laura Dern, or Sam Neill from Jurassic Park? At the start, we have pick a dinosaur: Velociraptor, Tyrannosaurus Rex, or the Dilophosaurus.
I'm going Velociraptor.
I'm going to go T-Rex.
I think they're kind of cute toward the end.
Yeah, when they're trying to kill everyone. Pick a Jeff Goldblum movie. The Fly, Independence Day, Thor Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok looks like it looks like he's in costume in an apartments.com commercial. I'm going Groundhog Day all the way.
I'm going to go with The Sandlot.
And no one's going the Nightmare Before Christmas. My God, I'm having a stroke over here.
I hate that movie. I got Ian Malcolm.
This quiz is such a piece of
just gonna
yeah. Grow some curly chest hair real quick. Are you wearing high-waisted black jeans?
As a funny and carefree person, so apparently the fun one is what I got. As a funny and carefree person, so me, you're great at lightening the mood in a tough situation. You're intelligent, outgoing, and flirty. You have an adventurous side, and sometimes you're not good at knowing when to call it quits. Wow, that's a really harsh day.
And in a shocking turn of events, I got Ellie Sattler because I chose her quote. You're an incredibly smart and curious woman who isn't afraid. Wait, hold on. No, I'm kidding. You're an incredibly smart and curious person who isn't afraid to step up and be the brave one in a scary situation. Not true. I just cower. You're always either trying new things, working hard, or getting excited over the little things. This is a bullshit quiz.
Yeah, it's not great. And we spent 5 extra minutes on this.
All right. I'm curious about the other one. We can do it after if you want.
We can do it after.
La, 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 la.
All right. We're taking Are You More Bill or Ted from BuzzFeed that they did for Bill and Ted Face the Music. What word do you hope your closet... Nope.
What word do you hope your closeted friends use to describe you? Let me read that. What word do you hope your closest friends use to describe you? Loyal, kind, funny, ambitious. Loyal for me.
I would go with kind for me.
Are these somehow gendered terms? Because some of them are in pink and some of them are in blue.
That's a good question that I don't have the answer to.
Do a bunch of acid and just blast Pink Floyd.
Which, again, is not like something you would blast to save the world.
No.
I got Bill. You're a great friend and the very definition of an optimist. You don't let this big, sometimes scary world get you down or ruin your good time. If we could all strive to be a little more excellent to each other like you always do, the world would be a less bogus place.
I regret to inform you, I also got Bill.
We chose no similar.
No, exactly. Every response combination gives you Bill
or Ted. Did you get the exact same write-up too?
Same write-up and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why would they have 4 options?
La, 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 la. On a scale of bye Felicia to damn, how well do you remember the movie Friday? Who caught Craig at the show with another girl? Was it Felicia, Smokey, Ms. Parker, or Joy's sister-in-law's baby cousin Tracy?
It's D. Joy's baby sister-in-law.
Always D.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Oh, those are some fingernails. Damn. Oh, I can't talk like that. That's
Mm.
cultural appropriation. Moving on.
Oh, I forgot to tee this up by saying I've seen this film a number of times. It is one of top 20 favorite films of all time, maybe top 50. It's on my top 100 for sure.
Okay.
I think that's Regina King.
I always wanted to be Regina because there's a place in Canada called Regina. Wrong, Mundo. Neil
Regina's
Long.
sister.
You scored better than 55% of all other quiz takers, with getting 4 out of 6 correct. Bye, Felicia. You know the drill.
Oh.
You tried, but you didn't ace the quiz, so bye, Felicia. Wow, settle down on that. Watch the movie again and come back a little stronger.
Dang it.
Bye, Felicia. La, 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 la.
But we're going to take a quick quiz, BuzzFeed quiz, because that's what we do.
Spend a day in this cottage to reveal your Ghibli. I don't think you're allowed to reveal your Ghibli. I think that's a prosecutable offense.
The full title, spend a day in a magical cottage to find out which Studio Ghibli character is your soulmate. And the subtitle.
I still think revealing your Ghibli is... I hate making breakfast. Really? I like eating breakfast. I hate making it.
I like making breakfast. I'm going to go with that.
I'm going to take out the garbage.
Okay. Last year I kind of got into bento.
I can get down on a bento box.
Yeah, you would eat the umeboshi plum and the The smelt row over there.
No, theirs looks gross. I'll go with ramen.
You want to go?
I love a cat, but I'm also a Totoro person.
Fair enough. None of these are cottages.
Is that Ralph Macchio's house?
Yeah, it's the back of Ralph Macchio's house in Cobra Kai.
Oh, it's not his house. It's the dojo.
So I am Ashitaka. Andrew is Seiji Amasawa. If you were wondering what Studio Ghibli characters were our soulmates.
We've now revealed to you our Ghiblis. La 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 la.
Strange things are afoot at the Circle K. This was a BuzzFeed quiz submitted by Freddie Apperly, a community contributor.
I'm going Circle of Life.
Then I will go Randy Newman with You Got a Friend in Me.
You got a friend in me.
Choose a city. London, Tokyo, Cairo, Rome, New York, or Paris.
I don't really like leaving the country, so I'm going New York. All right, you want to read first?
Sure. God damn it. I got Ted Logan of Bill and Ted fame.
Wow.
You're Ted Logan, a high school student whose music will one day save the planet in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
And now I feel like I have to watch it. I got John Wick.
Awesome.
But like, how are they deciding? You're John Wick, a ruthless hitman that comes out of retirement to kick major butt in John Wick.
Well, so I don't remember which John Wick movie it is, but one of them they kill his dog, and that's why he massacres everyone.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
La 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 la.
Do you want to do a BuzzFeed quiz?
Let's do a BuzzFeed quiz.
Okay, this BuzzFeed quiz I found it's how well do we know the 90s? Only 15% of people remember enough of the 90s to ace this quiz. But the first question is, what did NASA famously launch in 1990? The Hubble Space Telescope, Mariner 4, Sputnik 1, or the Mars Pathfinder? So we just did the space episode 2 weeks ago where we went over the space stuff.
Hubble seems 90 seems early for Hubble, doesn't it?
Hubble was early, but I want to say it was 91.
I want to say like, is it Mariner 4?
I think it was because obviously it wasn't Sputnik. That's the first
Ruskies.
first Russian space probe. The Pathfinder was mid 90s, so it must have been Mariner 4, right?
I want to say Mariner 4.
Yeah, I want to say Hubble was 91. Yeah, it was Hubble, damn it.
Sons of bitches.
That's George Clooney. That's George Clooney and the guy
Matthew Broderick?
Noah Wiley.
Okay. It's Joey and Chandler clapping.
Yeah. We scored better than 41% of all other quiz takers. Not horrible. You didn't do too bad. I guess you're either a young millennial or we're just napping in history class.
Who's history class?
I mean, we're mid to young millennials.
Yeah.
Technically. We're not border, but we're on the younger half of the millennial side.
Late millennials.
Yeah.
Young millennials, yeah.
Gosh darn. Wow, that Furby on the left is terrifying. So
a lot of BuzzFeed quizzing.
Yeah, if you may have noticed on the clip packages that are just us, you're gonna hear some a sound to indicate that we're moving on to the next episode.
Such as la 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 la.
Yes, exactly.
That's live.
Yes, Andrew performs the la 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 live once again. But the only time it doesn't come up is on any clip package that might feature other people. Do you want to tee up the next one?
Yeah. In clip number 2, we pitch a gritty reboot of the Cartoon Network series Dexter's Laboratory mixed with Breaking Bad.
Okay, so then I'll just talk about Dexter's Laboratory in 2 minutes, and then we can close this off.
Name the 90s 2 minutes.
Dexter's Laboratory, one of those early Cartoon Network shows. Dexter's Laboratory. He had that annoying sister Dee Dee.
What a jerk.
He somehow hid an entire lab inside his like closet and or basement.
What if there was like a gritty reboot where it's just a meth lab?
It's Dexter from Dexter.
In the Breaking Bad universe, though. Yeah, set in Albuquerque.
Starring Dexter from the Dexter series.
Hi, it's Sam and Callum from One of Us is Bored. Congrats on your 3-year anniversary. That's a huge achievement. Loads of podcasts don't even make it past 1 year, never mind 3. So well done for sticking it out.
We were so happy to appear as guests during your 2022 Christmas celebration. So thank you for making our first time guesting on someone else's podcast as One of Us is Bored a lot of fun. All the best going forward, and here's to another great year for you. Have a good one.
Those two are great. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they were on. I forget which day it was. I should have written that down. But they were on the Quantum Leap episode.
Yeah,
it was however many people leap in the 12 Days of Christmas song. That's the day that they're on. But yeah, check out the Quantum Leap episode. Is it 10? With Sam and Callum of One of Us is Bored. Thank you for sending that.
Words.
They're both under the weather when they sent that, having seen Avril Lavigne. I don't know if she was the cause or
why did you go make things so complicated?
There we go. So speaking of complicated, I've seen a lot of movies that I talk about on the show a lot. And Andrew hasn't seen a lot of them. But I'll just talk ad nauseum about things. And in this next clip, I'm talking about the Stargate movie, and we're moving into Pulp Fiction. And you can guess whether Andrew's seen that one or not. Oops. I think it's a good movie. It's like one of the solid Emmerich movies. It is, again, it's the reason why we have Independence Day, because when he was on the press junket for Stargate, he was asked, what would you think about aliens coming to Earth? And he was like, that seems like a movie idea. Stargate.
Yeah, namely 90s Minute. More or less.
You've had to have seen Pulp Fiction, right?
I haven't. And I have been meaning to watch it because I feel like I have to, and I have not done it yet.
But then if you feel like you have to, you definitely don't watch it. That's the way you're wired.
I know, but people argue that it's one of the best movies. Don't people think it's one of the best movies made?
Yeah, it's Tarantino's best work, for sure. And it is...
No, Tarantino's guest star and directing appearances on Alias were his best work. They're terrible.
I would assume so. And a lot of close-ups of Jennifer Garner's feet. Pulp Fiction.
Wikifeet.com/Tarantino.
Yeah. I'm sure he quietly founded that site.
I don't think anyone wants to see his feet.
No. That's probably, he's probably a sponsor of that site though. Yeah. Have you seen Pulp Fiction yet?
No.
That's shocking. So shocking.
Did I make the joke about orange juice yet? Probably.
Oh,
we got no Pulp Fiction. We did a thing about no Pulp Fiction, I think. Yeah.
I can look that up later in the I thought it might have been last year.
Could have been.
Or last year's anniversary special. Let me check.
By the way, anyone who buys extra pulp orange juice is a psychopath.
Hi? No. I will occasionally, because I don't often buy orange juice, so it's sometimes when I haven't had orange juice in a while, I think I could use some pulp. Other times I just get the calcium one. You're working with a psychopath. Speaking of psychopaths, I made a fun package all about you. Address world domination.
Or Dominion.
Dominion.
No, I haven't seen it yet. So
you haven't seen it yet.
Ding. I'm sorry, but they both could have fit on that door.
Titanic.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yes.
Never saw it. Ding.
And this one, I picked all actors from this movie, and I've picked all roles that you have seen them in.
Okay.
And I have verified that you have physically seen these actors.
All right.
In this because, well, I think the only one I don't have a confirmation on is Free Willy. Have you seen Free Willy?
Maybe not, but let's go into it. Ding.
Anywhere you want to go?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna let you lead this one because I don't. These things are not. I didn't know Ralph Macchio was in My Cousin Vinny. Ding.
Shall we move on to the next subject, which is the sequels?
Haven't seen any of them. Ding.
I think it's worth a watch.
I guess also, I mean, this further illustrates the point, as we talked about in the last episode. Don't really like fantasy genre. That's probably why I didn't watch it.
It's Peter Pan. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. But it's I feel like it's coming off. Did you not watch like Disney films as a kid?
Some. I do remember I watched the live action part of the live action Peter Pan.
This is the live action Peter Pan.
No, there was like a live action musical. You know, like how they did The Little Mermaids. They did like a Peter Pan one.
Yes, where Peter Pan is played by a woman.
An androgynous person, yes.
Oh.
Well,
isn't it
okay.
usually a woman?
It appeared to be an androgynous person. I was confused for a while. My wife had to tell me because I couldn't figure it out. I was like, "Is that is that?" And
I think classically, when people perform Peter Pan on stage, it's a woman that usually plays Peter. That's just a point of fact.
Well, I guess if you need an adult to play a young boy,
man child, yeah.
It's Danny DeVito.
Peter and Rumham just flying around. Let's see. I know you haven't seen Star Trek.
Not this one.
Right. Yeah. What Star Treks have you seen?
The new ones.
Ew. Why? Because
they're good-ish. Okay, one of the first one was
the third
interesting.
Okay.
Ding.
Gremlins 2 is a great movie. I will not have anything said.
I did actually. So I will tell you, we watched this movie. I actually haven't seen the first Gremlins. The second Gremlins.
It's the better one.
I was watching this movie. I had my headphones in, and I was laughing out loud for a good portion of the movie. It was pretty hysterical. Ding.
And we're starting with 10 Things I Hate About You. I know you don't like this movie.
I don't think I've fully seen the movie. Ding.
He's going after Amy. Sorry, Amy is not the girl. Her name's Alyssa. But basically, yeah, it's you wouldn't like it. I know you wouldn't like it.
And I feel like the problem is I haven't seen a lot of these, so they're immediately C tier for me. Ding.
Josie Geller is an insecure 25-year-old copy editor for the Chicago Sun-Times who has never had a real relationship.
Oh, another thing is set in Chicago in the 90s. See?
Yeah. What? Just see?
Well, I mean, we haven't seen it.
That's true.
Ding. Was Richard Gere born 50? Like,
yeah. There's almost a decade between the two movies. Because I'm like, this was 99 and Pretty Woman was like 91, more or less. Yeah. I have a review to help us, so I don't think either of us have seen this movie. I haven't seen it. Ding. I would put that one higher.
Oh, are there three of them?
There's two.
Oh, two of them.
No, Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I haven't seen You've Got Mail. Ding.
Oops.
I've got some work to do.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything ever.
To be fair, the last like 3 or 4 of that package was just from when we did the tier list thing, and I hadn't seen like maybe a fourth of those, and you hadn't seen half of them. But that, yeah. It was fun though, getting a little bit of revenge, if you will, for you've never seen anything and you never committing to seeing anything. So in the new season 2, one of the new episodes that we did was on Point Break, just because, and I got to play a game that I like called Boot or Reboot. And you had to pick between the original Point Break and the revamped 2015 reboot movie. I showed you both trailers. And this is your final conclusion. If you were in a position where you would die if you didn't watch one of these two movies, you have to tell me which movie you would watch.
I mean, in terms of the trailer, I'd prefer a U-Haul trailer to these two hot messes.
Sure.
Yeah. Ooh. I think the reboot is plagued by bad acting, cheesy CG, and kind of a weak storyline that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So for that reason, even though it looks visually more appealing, all of those things are so off-putting that I have to go with the original.
Nice.
You know?
Nice.
I do.
And that's the successful end to our first boot or reboot. Andrew's chosen the boot. The original.
We unboot it?
Yeah.
Like that.
And now we can move to the Namely 90s, man.
Haven't seen it.
Happy 3rd anniversary, Namely 90s. It's Shalina from Everything 90s podcast. Just wanted to say congrats to you, Brandon and Andrew, on making it to another successful year of podcasting. Not sure if you shared this already in a previous episode, but I was curious to know what are some of your favorite or least favorite episodes that you guys recorded within the last 3 years, and what's one or two behind the scenes fun facts that you can share with us listeners.
Thank you, Shalina, for that. First and foremost, check out Shalina at Everything 90s podcast. You can search for Everything 90s podcast. Very active on Instagram. So the questions were favorite episodes. Do we have favorite episodes? Having gone over, having just done these clip packages, I really enjoyed Gremlins 2 and the fact that you enjoyed Gremlins 2.
Yeah, the Gremlins 2 episode was fun. Yeah, that was fun. I know it's just over the last 3 years. It was pretty cool when we got to record together in person.
That was fun. Yes.
I don't know if the episode itself was anything particularly special, but
being able to record in the same space, and then me realizing that you can't hook up two USB microphones to the same computer because of the timing issue.
Developing severe nausea when we went to try to eat sushi afterwards.
That was fun. And that doubles as a behind the scenes thing.
Yeah, in some ways better. That was in some ways my favorite, in some ways my least favorite. And I wouldn't stop tapping the damn pencil on the
Oh yeah, on my plastic table that picked up every vibration at the time.
Least favorite episode.
Do you have one? There's a few. I can't think of them off the top of my head because they just kind of push it out. But I remember you having a problem with one episode.
There was one I was like, do we need to re-record that?
That's what it was. Yeah.
I can't remember which one it was. I mean, there are definitely episodes where I'm just dead to the world, like so tired. But it's quantity over quality. No, it's not even quantity over quality. It's we've got a deadline. We're gonna meet it.
To be fair, there are episodes where you're like, I hate this episode. I don't think I don't think it was good. I don't think it was funny. I don't think I contributed anything. I'm like, you had some of the funniest bits in that episode. That was.
We're all our own worst critic, I think.
True. For me, anytime that I've screwed up the recordings with the guests, those suck. And just, they don't suck. The guests are great. It's just,
some of the most fun I've had has been some of the episodes with guests.
Yes. And you can hear that when you go back and listen to our 12 Days of Christmas specials.
Yeah.
I wish that was the tee up for the next package. But it's not a package. It's a clip. Or any more behind the scenes things? It's not a lot.
I don't think so. We do it on Zoom. That's a lot of podcasts these days.
We make sure to have at least moderate audio quality.
Yeah, I record out of a 16 by 10 shed in my backyard, of which I've built out the last 6 by 10 as a 60 square foot office.
And it looks like the Unabomber shed, if it was like a play shed in a backyard.
Yeah, my shed's actually really nice.
Yeah.
There's also $6,000
Jeez.
Just saying.
No, because I was listening back to our interview with Andy Fry, and I was like, in the teaser, I was like, yeah, I'll just show a picture of the Unabomber shed instead of Andrew's actual shed when he talks about it on the episodes.
He was like our only kind of vaguely celebrity guest
so far. Another author reached out recently, so we might have another interview this
James Patterson.
That'd be awesome.
Tom Clancy. We're using a Ouija board to talk to Tom Clancy.
We should get Janelle on and do that. All right, this next clip. It's kind of a chit chat part of the episode. For some reason, you reminded me of a new story that I had seen recently about a pilot. You'll hear it. Yeah. Here we go.
To all of our listeners who smell like mushrooms, thank you again for your continued support.
Well, you just recently on a Southwest flight, the pilot threatened to turn the plane around if people wouldn't stop dropping nudes over AirDrop.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Yeah. Although, I mean, it's a digital form of flashing, so
send better nudes, or I'm turning this plane around. Good times.
I think that's another example of me recording off the wrong mic.
That's classic. Oh man.
Speaking of classic, all through season 2, our friends from the Insanely Dangerous Retro Pod Show had sent us UK headline clip. I think I probably explained it in this package, but our friends from the Insanely Dangerous Retro Pod Show now send us Quilly 90s, and I thought it'd be fun to showcase that.
Cheerio.
This would normally be where we have the what happened way back when headlines, the UK headlines from the Insanely Dangerous Retro Pod Show. But we're doing a Freaky Friday thing this time.
Not to be confused with the Jamie Lee Curtis movie from the 2000s.
Yes.
Freaky essentially, Friday. They say a movie quote, and then we in various voices, and we have to try to guess who it's from.
Yes, I don't want to steal Gaz or Dangerous Thunder. They did the whole shebang.
Hey there, Brandon and Andrew. It's Gaz and Dange from TIDRP, your brother horseman in this retro apocalypse.
Today we have a little quiz for you, a memory game, if you will, that Gaz has brilliantly named Quotely 90s. Name the movie and, if possible, the character that said this. Bonus points for the actor.
Kiss me, my dear, and I will reveal my croissant. I'll spread your pate and I'll dip my ladle in your vichyssoise.
Kiss me, my dear, and I will reveal my croissant. I will spread your pate. I will dip my ladle in your vichyssoise.
That's the most uncomfortable quote I've ever heard. And we just got the pleasure of hearing it like 8 times.
Well, it started with a little Scottish Mike Myers doing Shrek, I feel like.
Yeah.
So there's 2 things. There's two thought processes. One is they're always talking about Father Ted. My second thing is going off the Mike Myers thing, which is probably a red herring. Like I could see him saying that either in like an Austin Powers movie. Okay, so we're going for Austin Powers in Mike Myers in International Man of Mystery.
I think that's a fair guess.
Yeah. Backup guess was So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Okay.
And they're gonna laugh at us because clearly we didn't get it.
No.
They threw a hard one to lead off.
They threw a curveball toward our wicket or whatever. I don't know. It's like that's not a
wicket is the thing in
cricket. That's the thing from cricket?
Yeah,
it's the bat?
No, that's the pole. That's what you're supposed to hit with the ball.
Isn't it a bummer when the wicket's sticky?
Yeah, well, so there's a thing on the wicket that you have to knock the thing off of. And so it's good for the wicket to be sticky because then the thing won't fall off of. That's what I know of cricket.
Was said by The Mask's Sam Lee Ickes in 1994's The Mask, starring Jim Carrey.
Never would have gotten it.
The king.
That's your movie.
So bad.
Never would have gotten it.
It's brilliant. 90s movie genre. Now, back to the wolf whistling spicy meatball, namely 90 Boys, B-Meat, and Dr. Loaf.
You're Dr. Loaf, by the way.
I feel decent about our guests. Like, yeah,
Pretty
we were
good.
wrong, but it wasn't
Like
it was a
Jim
solid
Carrey,
guess.
Mike Myers. Those are two, I would say, two comedy greats in the 90s. But the mask is your movie.
It's stupid when the dog puts the mask on. Cheerio.
Our friends over at the Insanely Dangerous Retro Pod Show.
And if you're lucky, you hear me slip into my terribly offensive English accent.
Negative. I am a meat popsicle.
Negative. I am a meat popsicle.
Negative. I am a meat popsicle.
Okay. That actually sounds familiar.
It does.
They guessed, I think they guessed the first, like, I want to say they guessed the first 3 or 4 out of 5.
So it's 90s. It's a movie.
Yes. And
I'm a meat popsicle.
Austin Powers, but they didn't do the Austin Powers voice.
No.
Because he is a meat popsicle. Also, the second one would be Starship Troopers. It does sound familiar to me, and that's going to bug me. No, sir, I'm meat.
I don't think we're going to get it.
All right. I'm going to go with Starship Troopers.
Sir, are you classified as human? Negative. I am a meat popsicle.
No! No! No, I know what it is.
Dallas in the 1997 sci-fi opinion splitter, The Fifth Element.
I don't know how, but somehow he's managed to pick 2 so bad it's genius films twice in 2 quotelies. Back to the multi-pass loving, flying cab driving, namely 90s Boys, Brandon Dallas and Andrew Lilu.
I now hate that movie even more than I already hate it because it made us lose.
The moment I heard it, I said it before he said it.
Wow. I never would have gotten it because I don't care for that movie and I don't care for the whole thing.
That's a great movie, and I hope Dange enjoys it.
Cheerio.
We have a Quotely 90s from our friends at the Insanely Dangerous Retro Pod Show. Gaz and Dange.
Just remember, our worlds weren't as interconnected then, as we lived across the pond, and the internet still ran on coal. Ooh, yeah, I can put the bunny back in the box.
Why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
It sounds familiar.
It's difficult to discern whether it's like comedic or possibly some kind of like a metaphor.
Well, so, okay. Well, first of all, kudos to Gaz and Dange. This is the 3rd one we've done, I think. And they're starting to make it their own. My first instinct, my first bug or bunny what idea would be Space Jam, upon thinking about it, upon hearing it, do you remember the sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Honey, I Blew Up the Kids?
I always assumed that meant the kids exploded, but yes.
Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. So it's the sequel. It's from 1992.
Who's the guy? The dad?
The dad in that is
that guy who like left
Rick Moranis.
Acting. Yeah, Rick Moranis.
Yep. Why are these so hard? They always know them too. I hate the ones that we do. They always know. I think we've stumped them maybe like 3 times.
Yeah, this is really hard. That's what she said. Well, I'd say I'm stumped.
So let's go Rick Moranis
as the dad from that movie, whose name I don't know.
Yeah. And if it's Space Jam, I'm going to scream.
Moranis.
This could have been more 90s if it was wearing hammer pants and a bomber jacket.
It was like,
why couldn't you put the bunny back in the box?
Was said by Nick Cage as Cameron Poe in the 1997 summer blockbuster and my favourite movie of all time almost, Con Air.
You just watched it.
I just watched it. Should be executed for crimes against cinema in relation to this film's dialogue. Bunny stealing, tea party loving, Brandon the handgun, and insert criminal name here, Andrew.
Every time I hear Con Air, I think of the hair dryer company. But anyway,
okay. The worst part is I was channel surfing at the hotel I was at this weekend for disc golf, and Con Air was starting. I'm like, I hate the fact that I ever could recognize that this is Con Air from the intro to that movie.
Cheerio.
Yeah, now it's time for our favorite monthly segment. It's Quotely 90s from our friends at the Insanely Dangerous.
Except not favorite because we get wrecked every time.
Name the TV show, and if possible, the character that said this. Bonus points for the actor, but you'll never get it.
This is Cringer, my fearless friend.
This is Cringer, my fearless friend.
This is Cringer, my fearless friend.
Yeah, this is Cringer, my fearless friend.
I think the Macho Man Randy Savage one was my favorite.
Well, the problem is I have no idea what the hell that's from.
Yeah, well, they said it's a TV show. I mean, they said we'll never get it. It's probably like some sort of like English program that we've never seen before.
It's not really 90s. It kind of is, but it's kind of not. So it's not really in your wheelhouse, but you must have seen reruns. And at the end of the day, I wanted to do it, so there.
This is Cringer, my fearless friend.
Was said by John Irwin as Prince Adam /
No!
in the 1983 blockbuster cartoon He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Throw it back over to those masters of the retro universe, Brandon at Arms and Andrew Lynn.
One, I don't think I heard a Skeletor voice in there. Did you hear a Skeletor? He-Man? So I can't.
I don't know. There was a series of really creepy sounding voices, though.
Oh yeah, well there was the creepy sounding voice, but I feel like he does that one every time.
Dage, how long have we been doing the show for?
Oh, I believe we hit 3 years in August.
Oh, bloody hell, that's a long time.
Oh, it sure is. Imagine listening to us for that length of time. Poor bastards.
they know where the off button is. But, Dage, guess who else is celebrating their 3-year anniversary?
Could it be?
Yes! Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It is the Namely Boys.
Leaders and saviors of the wild ride to oblivion and ecstasy. Good! Now we four are met. Let us free the universe with our own peculiar brand of heavy metal.
Let's see. Tommy is talking to fake Santa. So Tommy is like just Gordon-Levitt's laying on Santa's lap.
He really is.
Weirdly seductive position. We'll have Dange on live next year to do the same. But that sounds like a great view of the entire season again, which I guess is their plan. They make you keep watching.
No, but it's very true. There are some good movies on at Christmas because I think they know people are at home. We always turned on the Yule log on TV, which is just the loop of the log burning in the fireplace.
3 years of being involved in their Christmas specials. 3-ish year-ish of Quotely 90s. Moose and Squirrel have been so amazing with us. They are 2 of the 4 horsemen of the retro apocalypse.
So much fun has been had for these past 3 years, and wow, even I have listened to every one of their shows.
And here's to many, many, many more years of retro goodness from the Namely 90 Boys.
Congratulations, guys. You don't need us to plug our show, as you've done it and we've done it for us so many times on your show. So, you guys are awesome.
Yes.
Well, if we don't need to plug, then let's move on. No,
it's our sister podcast, I would say.
Pretty much, yeah. The English Brandon and Andrew, Gaz and Dange of the endangered
podcast, endangered retro,
insanely dangerous retro pod show.
Insanely endangered retro pod show.
They had clips in there from their multiple. I think they've been on our Christmas specials each year.
Yes.
Except the first year it was Gaz only.
Well, the first year we recorded remotely.
That's what it was. Okay.
The second year it was just
Gaz because the internet went out.
It was both of them. Yeah.
But yeah, thanks. It's been fun collaborating with them for the last 2.5 years or so. Because we do a weekly quote, which I think this week's or the one that we recorded for them this week is number 100. So that comes out in a week or two on their show.
Yes.
But yeah, it's been fun, and hope they stay running as long as we do. So you can check them out, the Insanely Dangerous Retro Pod Show. And do you want to tee up the next one? Also, if you're watching this on namely90s.com/YouTube or youtube.com/@namely90s, Andrew's tired.
I'm dying. I'm like literally. Let's see. Let's do the math here.
It took me way longer than I should have to finish up these clip packages, and
I've worked 96 hours in the last 9 days.
That's a lot of. That's wow. That's.
And a lot of them were late nights.
That's 5 whole days.
I'm listening and I'm like dying over here, but I'm gonna make it.
He's gonna make it. He's gonna make it after all.
Anyway, this next one is a case of mild dyslexia / misreading the name of a character, after which hilarity ensues.
Tony Randall played a gremlin.
I know. Why does he have like a South African accent?
Well, none of the gremlins had.
He plays the smart gremlin.
Oh, he plays the smart gremlin.
The brain gremlin. Why does he have... I still don't understand why he has that accent. He's an American actor.
Because it sounds smart to be sophisticated and British.
To be South African?
I think he was going for British.
It wasn't British.
It was not, but I think that's what he was going for.
I worked with a South African doctor. That's exactly how she sounds. Brain gremlin. I thought it was Brian Gremlin when I read the first time.
No, that's the brainy gremlin.
No, it's a gremlin named Brian, for sure.
Yes. Yep. Yes. Brian the gremlin.
I really thought his name was Brian.
I love the fact that you actually enjoyed that film, especially since I think the original one is better.
I still can't get over the accent.
Yes. You've seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. You've seen Gremlins 2. Why haven't you seen the originals? It's mostly my fault. Speaking of the originals, we learn a little bit more about you in this next clip and why you dislike some other things. All I remember is this really bad CG that tried to drag Swayze to hell, and
it's good that you're being so transparent about that.
The pottery scene with the song that's like, I don't even what was it like? Oh my darling.
Oh, I hate that song. Yeah. But I also hate the 50s, as I've told you many times. Like anything related to the 50s, like stereotype, which that song falls right into.
So I'm confused. Whoopi Goldberg's channeling Swayze. So in that scene, is it not Swayze, or is it not Whoopi Goldberg around to me more with the pottery, or like what's going on? Because again, I haven't seen this in probably 20 to 25 years. I also liked in Community, they had there's an episode where Jeff takes pottery class and the pottery teacher's like, we don't do that, and he points to a picture of Patrick Swayze with a crossed out, and he's like, I made that before he died, it's fine. But yes, there was no doing the ghost scene in pottery class, and that got them in trouble.
Yes, it did.
Anything more on Ghost?
Apparently that song, by the way, is called Unchained Melody, and it's from 1965. So apparently I hate the mid-60s as well.
Yeah, you don't like the Beatles.
No. I don't like anything. Although after I watched that movie with Ed Sheeran, I kind of was it with Ed Sheeran and the he was in it briefly, and the Indian guy whose name I forgot, the British Indian guy, the movie where the Beatles don't exist.
Yesterday. I haven't seen that yet.
Ever since I saw that movie, I'm a little bit more into the Beatles. So
really, you're not like you wishing that actually happened?
It was a fun movie. Recommend.
Wow.
I have seen it.
And I haven't yet. It's on the list. Speaking of I don't know. Let's get a little serious for a second.
Let's take the plunge
or make a joke out of it. And
listen to this next deep dive clip package.
You don't want to talk about how...
Yes, our new format, we alternate between a variety show and a deep dive. And the deep dive was kind of my idea because I listened to podcasts where people actually do extensive research on a specific event or topic and talk about it. Now, Brandon does a lot of research about a lot of things, but never extremely deep into one topic. So this was my suggestion, and now apparently we have clips of that.
Oh yes.
Anyway, should we do this?
Sure.
Well, okay. So, like Brandon said, we're gonna do some deep dives. I thought this would be a good one. I think especially pertinent because it's very much 90s themed, and also is the reason that we're here. So, I'm kind of a computer guy. You know, I'm not like super computer savvy, but I build computers and always like dinking around with them and that kind of thing. And
you've always been like the hardware guy. I feel like I've been a software guy.
Yeah. And I've been on the internet since I don't know when. I mean, I was 6 maybe. We had the internet at my house. Growing up, we had like the 56K modem. I remember my brother used to get on the internet when he wasn't supposed to. So my parents actually put a jack in the wall that had a key. And if they turned the key, the jack would be inactive, and they actually had to turn the key on for the jack to work.
I vaguely remember that. Like it was the one by the phone in the kitchen.
No, it was actually down in the computer room, which is that downstairs bedroom. But the reason I'm mentioning it for this purpose is so that we can talk about United States Senator Ted Stevens.
Oh.
Ted Stevens was a very long time senator. He was like 80 something when he died. He was a Republican from Alaska. And it was like 40, 50 years he was in Congress. Anyway, during discussions about net neutrality, he attempted to describe the internet using a, quote, series of tubes analogy. I think you'll probably remember this.
Yes.
Opposing net neutrality. Obviously, when you're 80 and you use a metaphor like that, people are going to widely ridicule it because he displayed such a limited knowledge of the internet that it was ridiculous, especially considering that he was leading the Senate committee that was responsible for regulating it.
I didn't really think of a good title. I feel like Andrew would have had a good title for this episode.
I absolutely would have called it Phil Pump and Blast. I mean, and you may recognize that, listeners, as a reference to that episode. You said it was the 7th episode?
7th episode, I believe.
Where one of the promotional slogans for one of the Super Soakers was Phil Pump and Blast, which Brandon and I had an awful lot of fun with. The slogan.
Because that means Hasbro/Nerf is sitting on the constant pressure system, not releasing good water guns for fear of getting sued, but also preventing other companies from making what they're afraid to make.
What if they incorporate more technology? Okay, stick with me here for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
there's a third bladder.
No, well, no, it comes from your bladder. No, you know how they have the Roombas, the little robot vacuums?
Yeah.
Well, they've released a Roomba that's smart enough to detect pet feces and not run over them. And I can attest to the fact that when they run over pet feces, it's a bad deal. So a CPS gun that can detect a human face too close and won't squirt.
I think so. I think that's why they were re-releasing the Super Soaker line, but not the CPS lines, because if you did try to point into someone's eye, you would just spray them with mist with the Super Soakers.
No, but I'm just saying, like, what if the CPS guns could detect that there was a face too close. We're living in the 21st century.
But that would still require like a D battery.
Yeah, well, it's all about the D batteries with toys.
With squirting.
We've brought you all here today to do another deep dive. And this week, in honor of the release of GoldenEye 007 on Nintendo Switch Online and Xbox Game Pass, we're going to be talking about GoldenEye.
It just...
For me, because it's the era I grew up in, Pierce Brosnan is James Bond to me. I can't, even though it's not the classic, it's not considered the best. He's not considered the best. Still, he's like my Bond, you know, I kind of have that like attachment to it because that's what I grew up with.
Yeah.
And when they cast Daniel Craig, I was like, I don't know.
Same.
But I'm a convert. I think Daniel Craig
did a great
played
job.
it brilliantly.
Good. I don't have a title for this. You're the guy with the titles, but this is the Rise and Rise of the Sony PlayStation. So join me, if you will, down this deep dive here on Namely 90s. We're going to be talking about the Sony PlayStation, which is a console, aka the PS1 or the PSX, which was its development title. Did you know in Japan that the circle means yes and the X means cancel? Yeah, true fact.
That's seems backwards, but I get it.
It seems backwards, but that's, culturally...
Makes more sense.
Culturally, it made more sense to them.
Yeah. Anyway, for those of you that somehow don't know, or I guess were born later, ER is an American medical drama television series that aired from 1994 to 2009 with a total of a whopping 331 episodes spanning 15 seasons. Sally Field, 2001, as Abby Lockhart's mother. Most annoying performance I've ever seen her in, but it's because she's supposed to be bipolar. So now I feel bad for not liking that because it's a mental illness, but it was a horrible, horrible storyline. And then Ray Liotta in 2005 as Charlie Metcalf, a regret-ridden, dying alcoholic patient. Ripped to the max.
Ripped to the max.
And then guest stars whose performances earned Emmy nominations include Rosemary Clooney in 1995, an Alzheimer's patient. William H. Macy is
not fair. She's his great aunt.
William H. Macy in 97 as Dr. David Morgenstern. Ewan McGregor in 1997 as Duncan Stewart, a convenience store gunman. I always forget he was in this.
In February of 1996, Nintendo published a game on the Game Boy by one of their developers called Game Freak. The game, designed by Satoshi Tajiri, was based off of his bug collecting as a child. Releasing with two versions to start, red and green, the game was called Pocket Monsters, and it went on to become a cultural phenomenon for over 25 years.
Wait, 96?
Yes, in Japan.
No, but that feels late. I thought it was around longer than that.
No, they celebrated their 25th.
Wow.
2 years ago.
I did not know that was so new when we got into it. I thought it had been around for a long time.
So is Pokemon the Animated Series finally over?
Absolutely.
Absolutely not.
There's still plenty of money to be made, so I'm sure it'll continue.
Exactly. Aside from the numerous movies and side stories and miniseries, I didn't even talk about like the 30 movies they have.
And so the franchise continues. That's me imitating the voiceover from the end of the episode.
The Super Mario Brothers movie is coming out, and we wanted to look back at the first video game movie, which was coincidentally released in the 90s. The first movie based on a video game, Super Mario. Mario. God, the naming's weird. 1 second. Super Mario Brothers is the name of the film.
Super Mario Bros. Or Brothers, the film.
Chicago Sun-Times, on their television program, Siskel and Ebert at the Movies, gave the film 2 thumbs down, citing tonal inconsistency and a lack of narrative. The film was on their list for one of the worst films of 1993. So I thought we'd take a look back at the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
This program was brought to you by Centrum Silver. That's what I should say.
Well, to be fair, there was a Silver Ranger, and he had in space there was a Silver Ranger, and the in space costumes had like the 5 color bands across it, and so it looked like he was a bottle of Centrum Silver. Took me until the episode of Power Rangers Turbo where Tommy was like chasing some guy in a go-kart, and he gets into the go-kart in sunny Santa Clarita, California, and then drives after the monster, and suddenly it's overcast,
there's
rainy,
like a bonsai tree in the background.
Exactly.
Like,
it's Tokyo or some sort of Japanese city, industrial city. And I'm like, oh.
No, it's West Covina. You're like, what? A lot of people our age were aware of it, but didn't really know a lot of the idiosyncrasies or a lot of the history of it. And then people who, of course, are younger listeners who don't exist may want to learn more about what this crazy thing is that we call Y2K.
Yes. Hello, future Zoomer listeners that currently don't exist.
They're listening to this on Zoom. Asking the world, both governmental and private entities, to cooperate to implement a plan, and then saying, yeah, we had 100% success with that or close to it. It's just BS to me.
I mean, I think, and you're going to tell us what the opposing view is, and I think that there's a middle ground between the two.
Problem. The opposing view is that there were no or very few critical problems to begin with, and it also asserts there would have been only a few minor mistakes, and that fixing things as they broke would have been a good approach and more efficient. Okay?
So I thought it would be a good time to look back at 80s and 90s star Michael J. Fox, who was kind of one of my idols growing up, one of my favorite actors. JD finds Dr. Casey just like scrubbing his hands like for an hour after his last surgery because he can't get them clean, and he delivers a fantastic performance in that. And then in the next episode is the roof toilet episode where we get the line, "There's a toilet on the roof."
Those dives were so deep.
Oh yeah. I mean, clearly you're the serious one now, and I'm the one trying to bring lighthearted humor. No, I'm kidding. You're trying to expand the knowledge of the show and the people listening to it, and it's a damn good idea.
I only have a few of those in me.
A few deep dives?
No, good ideas.
Oh. I was like, you have one coming up in 2 weeks.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. Speaking of new things for this year, I guess, I started doing stealing an idea from Mr. Sunday Movies / the Weekly Planet podcast, a letterbox review game, and we just did it for fun the first time, but I had so much fun doing it because we focus on Hocus Pocus 2, and this first review gave us the line "Hocus Pocus," and things have never been the same. I took a bunch of reviews for these 3 movies from Letterboxd, which is a social media movie reviewing platform.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard of.
I mean, there are worse things.
I'm just gonna say a lot of dudes not having much sex on that one.
That's fair. That's fair. And you're going to guess which one it applies to. For example, this doesn't pertain to any of those 3. This is a 2-star review from Paulington, social media reaction : typical bad sequel that fails to capture the charm and energy of the original. A nothing story wrapped in Hocus Pocus cringe. That is a review for Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus.
I like how what you're doing is just revealing that you're a racist in your review.
Right. The man has a cowboy hat on in his avatar profile. So, yeah. And it looks like he's with not Ron DeSantis, who's the senator that everyone hates. From Texas.
Ted Cruz?
Ted Cruz. Yep. All right. So, do you kind of get the idea?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Congratulations. Congrats on 3 years. You guys did it from your friends at No More Late Fees.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, thank you to Jackie and Danielle from No More Late Fees. Hopefully we get you on the 4th annual? No. Yeah, 4th annual 12 Days of Christmas specials.
Yes.
Good Lord. But yeah, you can find No More Late Fees on Instagram and on your favorite podcasting app. And if you're watching this on the YouTube, namely90s.com/YouTube or youtube.com/@namely90s, they actually sent us a nice video message with that. So I don't know if you saw that. I don't know how it's sharing.
You can watch me fall asleep in real time.
Yeah, it full screened on my end. So, and actually, yeah. Speaking of falling asleep, going off of the previous clip, I didn't have time to put all of my little games that we've played over the past year together, like I've done in the past. So I focused more on the Letterboxd games and some Hocus Pocus 2 clips. And somehow this is the longest package of the night. So
that's what she said.
Buckle up. This game is going to be called Terrible Reviews from Idiots on Social Media for Movies from March 1992. What it is, I took a bunch of reviews for these 3 movies from Letterboxd, which is a social media movie reviewing platform.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard of.
And you're going to guess which one it applies to. Is it for Basic Instinct? Is it for My Cousin Vinny? Or is it for White Men Can't Jump?
Okay.
This is from Houston Coley, 4.5 stars. I'm a man who is very content with his gender identity, but I must admit that there's part of me that wants nothing more than to literally just be, italicized be, this actor in this movie and wear all those delightful leather jackets and backless cat suits while talking in that New York accent.
I'm going to go Basic Instinct.
That is incorrect. That is My Cousin Vinny. He wanted to be Marissa Tomei in those backless cat suits.
Dang it. Oh, man.
What happened in the 90s better stay in the 90s. Remember, these are people watching the movie now looking back at the 90s movies.
White Men Can't Jump.
I'm sorry, that was a joke one I threw in for Hocus Pocus 2.
Okay. Got it.
This is from Wolfman, 3 stars. Sometimes they embrace the camp that has made this a cult favorite. Other times they just let blank and blank be very funny. Overall, it doesn't make much sense why this was ever made, but okay.
It's White Men Can't Jump.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
No, that was another review for Hocus Pocus 2. Here's a fair one. Here's a fair one.
Okay, well, this has been fun. I'm terrible at this.
You tried, and I was hoping you would pick up on the Hocus Pocus thing. This one is called 5-star, 1-star, the game. I'm going to read you, Andrew, a review for Gremlins 2, the new batch from Letterboxd. Do you remember Letterboxd? That's the social media movie review website.
The worst thing ever devised, but yes.
Yep, yeah. But you also got your favorite line, Hocus Pocus, from it.
I did.
And you are going to tell me if it was for a 5-star review or a 1-star review of Gremlins 2. This film feels like a rabid psychopath screamed into a microphone for an hour, and the movie studio decided to take those ramblings and put them to film, no questions asked. It is unhinged and indescribable. I'm going to stop there.
1 star.
That was actually a 5-star.
No, I was rating his review writing. It's a 5-star. No, I got it wrong. Okay. That review is god awful.
From Mary Olivian, why do people feel the need to ruin a good thing? ? The vibe of the first one is unmatched. Great cast, great costumes, witty, nostalgic, beautiful cinematography. Not everything needs to be modernized. And can we talk about the product placement? Why do you need to ruin good things? This movie should never have been made until someone was able to do it well and in the same nostalgic filming style. What do you think that is?
Okay. It's got to be a 1 star. And if it's not, I'm going to this person's house and punching him in the face.
Sorry, Andrew. That was a 1/2-star review for Hocus Pocus 2.
Oh God, that's really fun. Okay, I'm back.
Okay, we're back on course. Another tricky one for you from Max Gann. I'm gonna have to keep my place here. Yeah. Do you need that one again?
5 stars.
That was actually a 5-star review. Well done.
I guess the opposite would be no.
All right. This is from Cedric_Diggory. This is so bad. Definitely bottom 100 movie. It makes the first one look good. Everything looks so bad in this. What is with the lighting in this movie? This movie shows everything wrong with capitalism. Show this to Republican, not plural, show this to Republican, and they admit corporate greed is bad. I guess I keep going. No wonder people think the MCU, DC, Fast 9, Disney remakes are good. We can't have real sets. I assume 40 million of this budget, that 95%, I don't just
it's kind of conflicted.
It is.
5-star.
Well, drum roll. This is actually a 0.5-star review for Hocus Pocus 2.
Oh my god. So funny.
All right. Sorry, I had to do another one.
No, it's classic.
So that leaves you 50-50. Do you want a tiebreaker?
No.
Okay. Oh yeah, we don't have time for it. That filled up the set. All right. Thank you for playing 5-star, 1-star. Let us know if you want us to keep doing letterbox review type games that I definitely didn't steal from.
At the end of this episode, we're going to just announce that it was actually an episode about Hocus Pocus 2.
Santa Claus or Santa sequel?
Oh, one of the sequels, you mean?
Yes, but I'm gonna make it easy for you. I'm gonna make it a 50-50 option each time. So this is either going to be a review from the Santa Claus, and most of these are terrible reviews of the Santa Claus, or it's going to be a review from Santa Claus 2 or Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause. Okay,
right. I'm gonna do my best.
You'll get this one, don't worry. This is a 4-star review from Jason Bradley. The gays use all of their collective energy to conjure this film. Was that the Santa Claus or the Santa sequels?
I believe this is a review for Hocus Pocus 2.
Oh, well done. Well done, Andrew. This is a review.
I finally caught on.
For Hocus Pocus 2. That gets you points. Well done.
I love how it's implied that any of the answer could at any time be Hocus Pocus 2.
That's true. Any of the answers always can be Hocus Pocus 2. Or can they?
The gays.
Another 0.5-star review. Surprising. From Chris, a man whose profile picture is him with his shirt off. This isn't Tinder, sir. Tim Allen as Santa is worse than Hitler as Hitler, is the review.
Is this a review for Hocus Pocus? No, I'm just kidding.
Wouldn't that be funny if they're just somewhere in there I had actually put that review on Hocus Pocus 2?
Because
again, it's a social media review site.
Yeah, you could. No, I think that one's legit.
Santa Claus or Santa sequels?
The Santa Claus.
Sorry, that is incorrect. In Santa Claus 2, they clone Santa, and the cloned toy Santa becomes a fascist dictator of the North Pole. These are real plot lines. Final question for you from Angelo, 2.5 stars. Not this movie having a post-credit scene.
Not this movie having a post-credit scene.
Not this movie having a Post-credit scene.
The Santa Claus.
I'm sorry, that's actually Hocus Pocus 2.
Damn it, I almost said it. I almost did it.
You got 6 points out of 10. So 60%.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Well done. And
it's better than the average review for Hocus Pocus 2. I've recently learned about these letterbox reviews through Brandon, which is this is a social media movie review website, essentially.
I like that
that's what we need
you're using it more than I am now. I still Rotten Tomatoes it.
It's a lot of fun. And so the game is that Brandon must determine whether this or these series of reviews are from Titanic or The Matrix. In a segment I like to call Brandon guesses whether or not this review is from Titanic or The Matrix. Yeah.
I realize I'm going to just guess Hocus Pocus 2 for every single one because I'm nervous that you snuck one in.
So I'm going to have to pull up a separate thing so I can keep score. Oh boy. I watched this movie while I was violently high on edibles and ended up silently having a panic attack. Is this from The Matrix or Titanic?
See, now it sounds like it would be a Matrix review, mostly because like that's the movie where you're like, am I in a simulation or not? So I can't tell if you're giving me a softball here because I never give you a softball when
at the same time,
give you a softball.
Edibles are a wild card, and
True.
It could make you go into a state of complete panic about a movie about a shipwreck. I'm just saying that's pretty stressy too.
I was gonna say, like, by the time it gets to the shipwreck in Titanic, the edible would have hit. So
yeah, true.
Like that's the moment where you're like,
oh my god,
I'm sinking too. So I'm gonna go with Titanic. Final answer.
Ooh,
it was an actual. Why are you so nice?
It's from
Hocus Pocus 2.
No, The Matrix.
That's a review for Hocus Pocus 2.
Interesting, you should say. What's your final answer?
It's a review for Hocus Pocus 2.
It's a review for The Matrix. It is a 1/2-star review by Tom Block. And the review says, "Suck it, Brandon."
Oh, it's The Matrix because this is F. Joe Byron stuff. Final answer. If that's Hocus Pocus 2, I'm going to kill you.
It's Titanic.
What?
Yeah.
Was there a Brandon in the film?
Is a review for Titanic. 1/2-star review by Electric Deckard, whatever that means.
Uh-huh.
And this review says, "That reminds me, I need to refill my prescription." Is this for Titanic or The Matrix?
I mean, if prescription is weed, we're going to go with The Matrix.
I mean, okay, fair.
Final answer.
Ooh, I'm sorry. That is a review for Hocus Pocus 2.
Yep. The moment I stopped to think about it, because there's something about they go to like a CVS or something.
I mean, I was thinking the red pill, blue pill thing, but
yes,
achieved a 6 out of 11.
Wow.
Which is, I'm going to call a win on this one. You did better than if you just flipped a coin.
There's a lot of Batman movies in the 90s, so I made a game called Kiss from a Rose, Batman. It's the letterbox review game.
Ooh.
Yay, Andrew's favorite.
The problem is you say Batman and I immediately stop listening.
Yep. That's going to be the fun part. This review, 4-star review from Ruin, says, "Michael Keaton be like," and then it's just lips emoji. And that is for the 1989 Batman movie. 3.5 stars from Nat. I had a smile on my face the entire movie. The first one is iconic. This one could have been a disaster, but ended up being quite entertaining, a worthy sequel. What movie is that
It
from?
sounds like Batman Returns.
Final answer?
Yes.
That is incorrect. That is Hocus Pocus 2.
That person is on drugs.
Yep. 1/2 star. Cyrus King. Awful acting, awful casting, awful villains, unlikable main characters, too many ice puns, effects that have aged like milk, obvious green screen, bad lessons, awful jokes, some bizarre moments, the Bat credit card, Robin complaining all the time, weird leaps in logic, and just the defacing of a classic superhero icon.
Batman Forever.
I'm sorry, that was Batman and Robin, the movie that features Arnold Schwarzenegger as...
Couldn't remember. I just keep guessing the same one because eventually, statistically, I'm going to get it right.
Correct. That is what we hope. Because the game doesn't end until you get one more point. Half a star. Kyle McMahon. Get a shrimp fork and poke both of your eyes out. That way you won't ever have to watch this train wreck.
That's it?
That's the review.
Batman Forever.
That is Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, which Batman appears in.
I'm going to kill you.
I know, but it was just so worth it. These reviews are unhinged. All right. Half a star by Drew. Every time I thought it couldn't get stupider, they did it. They made it even more pointless, stupid, and boring movie. Incredible.
Hocus Pocus 2.
Sorry, it was a review for 2019's The Joker. For all the marbles, Andrew. 2 stars from Rin. Bat nipples. Bat nipples.
I remember them well, but
yes.
Which movie?
Which movie?
Was
it one of the 90s live action movies?
What is? I don't remember.
I mean, that's technically correct, but not the answer.
Batman Forever. Needs to be right again. Thank you.
Batman Forever. That is correct. And you're now free of this hell.
Wow.
Yeah.
Always fun.
It was almost like the Batman round was a revenge for the Titanic versus Matrix round.
And now let's continue the Batman hate, mostly perpetuated by me. I want to say something here.
Yes.
84 years of Batman. I think it's time to hang up the cape.
Cowl is
whatever.
Like
he also has a cape.
That's true. But
I think it's time to hang it up. Also, it's not the late 1930s anymore. Like Batman. That's just, it's so uncreative. It's ridiculous, you know? But back then, nothing had been invented yet. So it was very creative. Nothing had been invented yet.
Do you enjoy things you remember from when you were a kid? Well, stay tuned because we've got a deal for you.
Hi, I'm Chase Keys.
And I'm Emmy Zero.
We host a show called SNEScapades, a chronological journey through the North American Super Nintendo library.
So we know a little something about 90s nostalgia, which is why we recommend Namely 90s. It has all the hits.
TV shows you used to like.
Movies you saw with your parents.
That one obscure thing you think no one else remembers.
That game that looked way cooler in the commercial.
But wait, there's more.
Fun trivia.
Historical information sometimes.
Comedy, even though Andrew doesn't really like to call it a comedy podcast.
Tragedy, as you realize how many of the famous people you used to like are dead.
Ripped to the max.
Take it from us, fellow podcasters who talk mostly about old video games and video game magazines with just a dash of leftist politics.
Everyone loves it when video game content gets political.
So we want to wish our friends Brandon and Andrew at Namely 90s a wonderful 3rd podcast anniversary. There's really only one thing left to say about Namely 90s.
You're unbelievable.
So run, don't walk to your nearest podcast provider and get Namely 90s delivered right to your ears today. Podcasters are standing by. Sorry, no CODs. Dolls and playsets each sold separately. Batteries not included. Game cards do not actually talk. Part of a complete breakfast.
That was
what
awesome.
A good message there.
Yeah, thank you, Chase and Emmy from SNEScapades. Go check them out. Also, I don't know how if it's coming out because there's some audio recording issues, but they're hosting like a retro style YouTube show where you look back at old commercials and comment on them from the 90s. So when I have more details about if the episode I was on, the first episode is coming out, or when they're doing it again, I'll let all you listeners know and promote it. But they always go above and beyond for our anniversary episodes.
Yes, they do.
So that was really cool. And they know all of our bits, and very heartwarming. Rip to the max.
And now a little clip about how to vaporize a bird using a baseball, featuring Snescapades.
They're under a mistletoe about to kiss and / die from Santa when the parrot comes back and Randy Johnson's itself.
Yes.
That video is crazy, by the way.
It sure is. It's when I watch that sometimes, just like to remind myself that it's real, that it exists.
I want someone to calculate the probability of that. That seems very very low.
This is the baseball pitcher who hits the bird.
Baseball
hit
the bird just explodes. I mean, it's 100 mile per hour pitch. You know?
Well, yeah, it would. Yes,
the bird is just atomized. Yeah.
Fun fact. I think I learned this on a different podcast. Randy Johnson was or is now like a sports photographer for and his photography company logo is the exploded bird.
Wow. Okay. Good for him. Lean into it.
Well, it's a drawing of it. Yeah.
I still can't get over it. I mean, just if you're a statistician, please find the probability of that happening.
It is interesting. But like an exploding bird, we're coming down to our final clip package. We always save this one for the end of the show, I think, of these anniversary extravaganzas, because we're nothing without not only our listeners, but our other podcasting friends.
Our guests, yes.
Who we have on as guests. You can check out episodes where we interview people. You can check out episodes where we have other podcasts on during our 12 Days of Christmas specials, which is mostly all of them. And I think they are all of them. We've never not had a guest on for that. Check them out, give them some love. Thank you to everyone that was able to send something in for this episode.
Yes, thank you.
And we're of course, lots of love to all of our podcasting friends. Let's hear some of them now. For a book about time traveling to kind of go back and relive your youth through music, it's you get a lot of sports references in there too.
If anybody's looking at the video of this, if you guys put it up over my right shoulder is a picture of Michael Jordan hitting the last shot of the 98 finals, basically dusting Brian Russell. And the best part about it is except for Jordan's in color and the rest of the photos in black and white. And so one thing us Bulls fans love to do is kind of look at the faces of the people in the crowd in Utah and just like the utter horror that they experience between him releasing the ball and it dropping into the hoop, because they all know what's coming. And there's
Men in Black.
The cartoon. Yeah.
There's a scene just like that where they have like a blimp, and he was like, "Hey, you remember those Twin Towers?" He was like, "Yeah, not anymore." And then they showed it going towards the building, and it cuts. Like,
never forget.
I'm assuming that comes out before the actual event happens, but like, I was like, "Oh, that's."
I'm trying
to delete that episode from
that
history.
did not age well. Yeah.
And it is Conan doing the voice, so it's like them giving a bunch of really it is.
Conan.
So it's them giving a bunch of really weak material. A bunch of really weak material to Conan, so they can have the characters say mean things about him.
I thought that 2012 comment was interesting, though.
The war.
Yeah, it's like the war of 2012. Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Knowing that it was, I totally thought it was somebody impersonating him, but
it could just as well be. But it actually was him.
Yeah.
The voice isn't super distinctive, but yeah.
Shall we just all dial a phone sex operator together right now for
in your workplace?
Make a party out of it.
At the mall.
1-900 Yummy Guys Party with the No Man Club. How about that?
Yeah, it seems somewhat unlikely that mode of travel would have been, successful.
Right.
That's true. And even I, because normally on all 90s action all the time, when Brandon says things like, Kurt Russell couldn't possibly go glide from the Hollywood sign to over there in LA. I'm usually like, I don't care. But in
movie magic.
Magic. I don't know I don't know the geographical layout of LA. What do I know? Anyway, but even I was like, wait a second, they're in Japan, right?
Yeah, but people eat those like disgusting breakfast skillets. I don't know.
Well, and pho is like a hangover food that people wake up and just go right to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's LA. They'll eat anything at any time.
Yeah. That joke was actually incredibly cringy, that she was like, I'm desperate for food and even I won't eat that. I was like, ew.
Thank you.
Like the whole joke is so bad.
That's coming from a terrible place.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so far I've been enjoying it. It's good. She's a good actress.
Oh, Mayim Bialik?
Yes, yeah.
She plays a mean Alex Trebek, so.
And she has like 2 PhDs, I think.
There's actually a pretty elaborate theater district there, so there are a lot of
know that.
Yes, there's a pretty good Broadway nightlife there. It's not New York City, of course, but there is the theater district has a bunch of plays that are always going on. They have a lot of the high profile ones.
So research or recruiting or
he could be doing something.
God, isn't that a good thing I said? Is there something that I don't know? Because otherwise I just would look like a dumbass.
Would you wear a Fruit Loop sombrero, Taylor?
I mean, if you could pull off making it, I'm not even sure how you would construct that thing in the first place.
Yeah.
Just for the honor of it actually being constructed, I would wear it.
Like, I would buy a sombrero, put Fruit Loops in it, and then eat out of it as if it were a bowl. Well, today we are joined by Tej from That Cartoon Podcast.
Hi.
How's it going?
Welcome.
It's going.
Thanks for joining us. Your co-host Kyle. Hopefully he's all right. We were expecting him. He's MIA.
Gone dark. Yeah, we don't know.
Speaking of Trip, also you did Cats to end out your spoopy month.
His fault.
Yeah, I bullied her into that one. I'm probably one of the few people that would admit to this, but I actually saw it in the cinema at its release. I guess I'm somewhat self-hating, and I saw it as a way of inflicting pain on myself.
Jane, you insufferable bitch for some reason.
Wow.
No, it's Jane, you ignorant slut.
That's what it is. Yes.
Yes.
This was the 1970s.
Yeah. And I don't know how.
Or was it yesterday? I'm not sure.
And I don't know how it got so mixed up in my head because that was not nice. Anyway, that's apparently where my hate of whipping came from.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ.
Send your tweets to bshwit at bshwit.
Yes. No, I love the fact Jane Curtin's in this. Did they do it? Or I don't remember.
It's like the classic misunderstanding where he thinks they're talking about Drew and Kate, but really he's talking about the birds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's like, they were everywhere. They did it all over the room.
Yeah.
And then there's like a weird, and then when they were done, they defecated everywhere.
We're not talking about people anymore, are we? Yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was a fun one to go back through. I have an update about Kyle from That Cartoon Podcast, which I think we mentioned in during the year, but his wife went into labor. That's why he wasn't able to show up to record our little podcasting session.
How dare he?
Yeah. But 3 years. It's been 3 years. Anything you want to say to close this out?
No. It's been a blast, and it's like it's nice to hear some of the highlights because it gets a little tedious week after week, but to hear the highlights and go back, it's a lot of fun. We had some fun this year, and actually all 3 years.
I completely agree. It's always, you're right. It's fun to go back and look and listen and see what we liked, see what we didn't like, and just kind of remember all the funnies that we made along the way.
Plus, I like these episodes because I go back then and listen to the first year and the second year and just kind of hear the bits,
Yeah, which you, listener, can check out on your podcasting app of choice right now. And that's it for our 3-year anniversary extravaganza here at Namely 90s. Remember, you can find new episodes out every Monday. We have not missed a Monday. Find us ever since we started podcasting. Isn't that surprising? You can find us on Instagram at Namely90s with a 90s and tell us what you want us to talk about on future deep dive episodes. You know, I should say YouTube and Instagram. That would work. If you'd like to support the show, you can always check out our Patreon at patreon.com/@Namely90s, also with a 90s. Finally, you can also contact us through our website, Namely90s.com. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Audible, Hocus Pocus 2, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeart, Good Pods, and wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm Brandon. That's my co-host, Andrew, and we will catch you next time.
I'm going to go take a dirt nap.